Ladies and gentlemen, the French president is very upset because probably it was last year, 13 French soldiers were killed in Mali. And he's upset because it's a lot of anti-French sentiment going on in West Africa now. In the places where he collects his colonial taxes. I cannot believe France is still trying to live off of Africa. They still get a $500 billion a year colonial tax from the places they colonized in West Africa. How about the French people take care of their own damn selves and stop trying to milk Africa dry? They could use that $500 billion for their own countries. What are they giving it to French people for? And I thought all of you got high IQs. So since you all got high IQs, you shouldn't have to rely on Black nations to take care of you. So this guy is just a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. And so are the French people. So Macron orders West African leaders to Paris over the death of French soldiers in Mali. So this story came out December 5th, 2019 in face-to-faceafrica.com. I wouldn't go. All right. And I don't blame these people for being anti-French because you are taking their money to take care of yourselves. No European country should be collecting a colony, charging these people for some colony fee every year. Get out of here with that stuff. No, he wouldn't order me to know France. See, he wants you on his stomping ground so he can get these Black leaders around the table to tell them off. Okay, let me correct that. I'm sorry. The 13 French soldiers were killed in Mali last week. I said last year. It was last week. So I want to make that correction. So he's ordering these leaders to travel to Paris so that he can get in the faces to cuss them out over the killing of these soldiers and the anti-French sentiments that's in West Africa right now. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? All of the dark people in this world are awakening. We are waking up. No matter where we are in this world, the awakening is occurring. And these folks think they're going to keep the status quo going during the awakening. And it's just not happening. See, there's people that are still shocked that Kamala Harris had to drop out of the race. She did not have Black support. They still can't believe it. We already told you, if you do not have a Black agenda, we don't care if you are a Black candidate or a white candidate. If you do not have an agenda, you will not get our votes. You're just not listening to people. Now, everybody has gotten on French about collecting this colony tax, $500 billion every single year from West African nations. Even the UN told them what they're doing is wrong. And they continue on doing this every single year. The French are leaning on the Africans that not only did they colonize, but they murdered. So they're relying on money of people they mistreated to keep France floated. Keep it afloated. I wouldn't do it. Let France fall. France would be a third-rate nation if it wasn't for Africa. And number 2, didn't these African nations tell you they wanted their art back, Macron? You're still sitting on thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of their history and art. Did you return that? Then you have no right to get in somebody's face demanding that they pay you a colony tax. And your French soldiers need to get the hell on out of there. You know, one thing about the Ghana president, I know he's a coon, but he did say, let Ghana stand on our own. And in fact, let all of these places that you're collecting a colony tax from, let them stand on their own. Africa is a growing nation. They don't have a population decline problem like they do in France. So he wants to meet with these African nations on December 16th. He wants them all to fly into Paris so that he can try to berate them. So the French soldiers died when 2 helicopters on which they were flying on the night of November 26th collided. The troops were looking to touch base with other forces fighting Islamic fundamentalists in northern Mali. The 5 countries whose leaders have been receipts of French military support over the years in light of threats by religious militants and separatist rebels. France has thousands of soldiers stationed in West Africa and Sahel region. This is part of more than $665 million in military support for the region every year. But you're not protecting those people, you're protecting your resources. I mean, get real. None of these soldiers over there are protecting anything but those resources over there. You don't give a damn about them people. If you cared about them, you wouldn't be collecting no colonial tax. The subregion is one of the most unstable, with UN reports calling for attention to humanitarian challenges as well. So what? Let these people stand on their own. Let them stand on their own. You know, it's amazing. They'll talk all that, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. And then when you attempt to do it, right? When you attempt to do it, then they get mad. It's just like when you're out here working and you have to be in a predominantly white area, right? So if you're not working, you're on welfare, you're trying to live off the system, you're lazy, you're lazy. Then when you have a job and you are trying to work, like a UPS worker trying to deliver packages, right? What are you doing in our neighborhood? People can't make up their minds. In one instance, you shouldn't be on welfare. In another one, if you're out here trying to work, they're disrupting you. What are you doing in my neighborhood? And you're there doing a job. And we have seen this happen. Remember the politician that was canvassing an area and just knocking door to door, black woman? They called the cops on her. So when you have a legitimate job and you're trying to do your job, they still call the police and give you a problem. If you don't have a job, you're lazy and you're on welfare. Boy, I tell you, this is why you got to stop listening to all of the insanity that's out here, y'all. You really do. And the French need to learn how to stand on their own. You need to give Africa back their art that they have been asking for forever now. You need to get your armies out and you need to stop collecting a colonial tax of $500 billion every year. So that's all. This man wants to get these African leaders there. He must be hearing from the soldiers all of the anti-French talk that's going on in the region. and he's upset about that. So the hell what? So, you know, how about fixing your own country, Macron? What about all that yellow jacket protesting that's going on in France? We've been watching those protests for well over a year now. Those people are in the streets because they don't like you and they want you gone. You know, it's pretty bad when your own people are rejecting you and they want you gone and they're protesting all in the streets week after week after week. They're in those yellow jackets protesting all across France because they can't stand you. And it's amazing how he just keeps ignoring everything as if it's not there. Real good at that psychological crap, right? But, ladies and gentlemen, the only thing the French need to do when those African leaders get there, you need to tell him you will no longer collect a colonial tax from us. We don't owe you that. You will get your soldiers out of here and you will return our art. If the conversation is about anything else, y'all should just leave. I wouldn't go. He wouldn't order me to Paris and just cut them off. Let the French stand on their own 2 feet. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps and take care of yourselves. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.